Well, we're doing it. I told you we were going to do it. We're doing it. We didn't just do one podcast. We're doing another podcast, and then we're going to do more after that. This is another test, though. I want you to know this is just another test. Hey, guys. How you doing? Tom Green here in the first ever solar-powered Barncast. Big thank you to Battleborn Batteries who hooked me up with this incredible solar system powering the entire barn, and we could probably power an entire house with this incredible battery array. I got to know the guys at Battleborn Batteries when I got my van and was out in the desert with the van making music and traveling around with Charlie. Hello, Charlie. Charlie's here, of course, today. We've changed up a few of the shots, so we have a few different lenses, a few different shots. We've changed up a few of the shots here, so I want to give you another look at the barn, just a different look at the barn. Who's the new guy? We're building the studio right now, so one thing I need to do is I need to get a longer headphone cable. I don't like wearing the big headphones because I can't wear them when I wear my hat. And it's cold in here. It's cold in the barn. The barn's not heated. The solar system will power all of our lights and our electronics and our cameras, but not necessarily, doesn't really make sense to run heat in here because there's a lot of holes in the wall. You might notice that the wall is full of holes. But I'm having a great time here. I'm really excited about everything that we have planned in the future for you guys. I've got a new TV show coming out in the new year. Really looking forward to launching that. Going to tell you more about that soon. We're going to reveal lots of things that are happening around here at the farm. Not too much, not too soon, but I am going to start the podcast. We're going to start having guests on here. We're going to build the studio. Need to get a few more chairs. I want to get some couches. Not couches because there's rats in here and squirrels and weasels. There's weasels in here. So I don't want to have couches. We might get some wooden church pews that we might find at an antique shop. We'll set them up because we don't want the weasels, embedding themselves in the couch cushions. It's rustic, but I like it. And winter's coming, and it's going to get cold in here, but we're going to broadcast as long as we can, and then we might move into the house for the winter and then come back out here in the spring. Broadcasting up here in the north, in the northern hemisphere, can be a little chilly when you're broadcasting inside a dilapidated century barn full of holes and weasels, full of weasels. But had a great day. I want to start taking you around the property, having a look around. If you're new here, you may not realize that I've moved back to my home and native land of Canada after 20 years in Los Angeles. I started the Tom Green Show up here in Canada, in the city of Ottawa, on public access TV, and I did that with my friends from college, and we ran around on the streets, and I did all sorts of crazy stunts and pranks and pulled pranks on my parents and did stuff on the streets and messed with people back in the early days of video cameras. And the show took off. It moved me to Los Angeles, first New York to MTV, and then to Los Angeles. And then I just ended up staying there even after we stopped doing the show. We did various shows. We did the Tom Green Show. We did the new Tom Green Show. I did all sorts of shows for different networks. I hosted a show and produced a show for Access TV. You can watch all this stuff online. I was filling in for Larry King. Rest in peace, Larry. He was a very nice man and a genius and an incredible inspiration, a life of interviewing people and a life in journalism. The original podcaster, Larry King, I would say, he interviewed everybody. And he was nice enough to let me interview him and then have me guest host for him in the final years of his show. So I got to say, I had a great time living in Los Angeles, but when the worldwide global pandemic hit, remember that? I kind of wanted to come home to Canada, be closer to my family, and so I did. I packed my bags, sold my house, got my dog Charlie, and we jumped in the van and we drove back to Canada, and I found this farm, and I'm here now, and I'm just so thrilled to be here. And you're going to see this new show next year, which really takes you inside, behind the scenes as far as me setting up this place and becoming. I'm on my way to becoming a farmer. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do with the rest of my life. Be a farmer. Got some livestock here now. Got some chickens, and you're going to get to follow how that all came together, and it's really exciting. The show's looking great. I'm producing and directing the show, by the way, so it's going to have a lot of the sort of heart and soul of the original Tom Green show, but it's a sort of a new, modern version of it. And can't wait for you guys to tune in. But until then, we're launching the podcast. I had a good day today, man. I had a real good day today. I was out, hunting for breakfast. Let's put it that way. I was hunting for breakfast. And, up here in Canada, we have a strong and long tradition of outdoorsmanship, fishing and hunting. Traditionally, I grew up doing a lot of fishing. Didn't grow up doing a lot of hunting, but I've decided that maybe I'm going to, now that I'm living out here in the wilderness, maybe get into a little bit of hunting. Starting out with some small upland birds, maybe the grouse, maybe a little grouse for breakfast. Now, one thing about hunting is if you never see a grouse, then you're just hunting. That's all you're doing. I did a little hunting out in the desert in New Mexico for some upland game birds. I never saw one, but I did hunt for them. I hunted for them all winter. Never saw one, so I never actually had to, clean one and eat it. But, man, I was hungry. At a couple points, I was pretty hungry. I ended up having to eat a lot of Spam on that trip. A lot of Chef Boyardee ravioli. That's what kept me alive. But it's pretty much what's keeping me alive now, too. But, I was out hunting today. Again, another unsuccessful hunt. But I think the thing about hunting for me is I just like walking around in the woods. And sometimes out here where it is very wild and very remote, there are millions and millions of acres of wilderness in all directions. You could get lost here very easily. If you just walked in that direction, you could get lost and easily never find your way back. When I leave the house, I bring a compass. Let's just put it that way. I don't trust my cell phone GPS system. Your cell phone battery could die, and you could end up just walking around in circles until you freeze to death. So maybe we'll do that next week on the show. Next week on the show, tune in. I'll be walking around in circles until I freeze to death. That'll be kind of fun. A weird podcast. I don't know how we would upload it, but so I bring a compass whenever I go, a traditional, magnetic compass, and I bring that with me, and I know that I'll always be able to find my way back because I know that if I walk in a certain direction, I'll eventually hit some railroad tracks, and that will then lead me back home. It's good to be home. Again, I was out this morning hunting for breakfast, and I didn't get anything, but it was a beautiful walk. Let's put it that way. And sometimes deep out in the woods, there's a lot of bears, and they hear you coming, so you don't encounter them that much, but they hear you, and they know you're there. And this time of year, they're trying to fatten themselves up for winter, and you wouldn't want to run into a bear, especially if it's with its cubs at the wrong time of year. And so sometimes it's nice just when you're walking deep into the woods to be out there hunting grouse, just in case. You might want to grab yourself one of these and just maybe lose the bird shot for a second and pop in a slug, and that'll protect you. I wouldn't want to ever have to put a slug in a bear, though. I love the animals. I think they're beautiful. And it's only as a last resort if the thing's charging at you, which will never happen. Never happen. I don't think there's been many examples of black bears. We don't have grizzly bears here in this part of Canada. Just black bears here out east. And if you want to kind of understand where we are geographically, we're a little bit north of New York State. I'm about an hour from the New York State border, so I could be... Actually, I'm doing a show in Syracuse next week, so come see me. I'll be driving down with Charlie, crossing the border in the van, and doing a show in Syracuse, and actually 5 shows at the Funny Bone. The Funny Bone. I'm coming to the Funny Bone at Syracuse. So this is what's happening here. I haven't moved off to the woods and retired from show business. We're doing a podcast. I've got a new show coming out, and I'm on the road doing stand-up. I've got shows coming up in London, Ontario. I've got shows at the new Yuck Yucks. I'll be opening the new Yuck Yucks, where I started doing stand-up when I was 16 years old. Thank you, Howard Wagman. Thank you, Mark Breslin. Mark Breslin's Yuck Yucks. They're opening a new club at Yuck Yucks in London, Ontario. I'll be opening the club. Going to be great. Come see me. That's just in a couple of weeks. Syracuse first, and then I'll be in Bridgeport, Connecticut. I'll be in Stress Factory in Bridgeport, Connecticut, and also Vinnie Brand's Stress Factory in New Jersey, in New Brunswick, New Jersey. And then I'll be coming to Long Island. I'll be at Governor's Comedy Club, and then I'll be doing a show in Brooklyn, New York. Hello, Brooklyn. In Brooklyn, New York at the Littlefield Theater. First time performing there, and I'm super excited about that. So we will see you soon. I'm coming to see you soon. It's going to be so much fun. In the meantime, I'll be here in the barn. And, yeah, I had a great day today, though. I went out hunting for breakfast. I didn't manage to get any breakfast. I did eat eggs for breakfast today from the chickens. I've been eating a lot of eggs. My cholesterol is through the roof. But other than that, I'm getting a lot of protein, and that's good. And yeah, I got this, I'm out there. I like to keep hunting challenging for me. I didn't see a grouse, but if I did, I only got one shot because I've got the over-under shotgun 222 combo gun, and so I really got one shot with the shotgun. It's a good bush gun. It's a real good bush gun. Nice short gun for walking around in the bush. And that's something I do a lot here, by the way. I do find myself in the bush quite a bit. And we're going to be bringing you back into the bush quite a bit. So that's going to be one of the fun things that we're going to get to do here. We're going to go exploring the bush together. So you can stay tuned for that. Lots of bushwhacking will be happening around here. It's going to be really cool. We're going to go to some real remote places, and we're going to discover some cool things about nature and the wilderness, and some survival skills, some survival techniques. We're going to show you what not to do, and it's going to be a good time. I'm probably going to be having some guests on the show soon who specialize in this area. We do have a wolf pack here on the property. We have a coyote pack that is living just adjacent, and they often communicate with each other. And there's a lot of predators here. Winter's coming, so the bears are going to go to sleep for the winter, hibernate for the winter, but we still have the wolves and the coyotes, and I'd say that's it for predators for me. But as far as Charlie's concerned, there are some fishers and some wolverines and some bobcats, potentially even mountain lions, porcupines. There's all sorts of stuff that Charlie's got to look out for. Fishers actually are quite interesting. Actually, we'll talk more about fishers in a future episode, too. I'm looking forward to that. So that's what's going on. I took a few target shots today, took a little target practice here, just testing out the new over-under shotgun 222 combo. 222 caliber rifle on the bottom. So it's a varmint gun, It's a good varmint bush gun, if you like getting out in the bush. That's kind of what it is. So just something just to kind of keep with you when you're out in the bush. Because, it's wild up here. We're not in the suburbs of Cincinnati, okay? We are in the Canadian wilderness, and it doesn't get a lot wilder than this. Would love all you Americans, by the way, to come on up here. We know if you look at my analytics here on YouTube, you'll see that probably about 87% of our viewing audience is in the United States of America, if you can believe that. Probably about the other... another 10 to 12% of the viewing audience is in Canada, which is per capita, our largest audience is Canadian, and then the rest of the world. Funnily enough, it just seems we're really pretty North American-centric here. But because we have so many Americans watching, would love you guys to get in your vehicles and or hop on an airplane and fly on up and come see me do some stand-up here. I'm going to be doing a lot of stand-up comedy shows up here in Ottawa. And that's a lot of fun. And also, I'll be doing in London, Ontario next week. Come see me in Syracuse. Syracuse next week, London, Ontario the week after that, and then I'll be in New York. So come on up, man. Just check out my tour dates. They're all up on the social media. Come see me. It's going to be a lot of fun. Well, I'll put the tour dates actually in the description of this video so you know where they are, where I'm going to be. I'm not on the road nonstop anymore. I'm just doing a few shows here and there just to keep my whistle wet, so that I'm ready for my new stand-up special that I'm going to be shooting in the new year, which is coming out on a major broadcaster. I don't want to say who yet, but it's going to be a lot of fun, as well as a documentary about the history of the Tom Green Show. Lots of stuff coming out in 2020. What year is next year? 2025 next year. 2024. 2024 is next year. Getting ahead of myself. But no, this is exciting, and I want to thank everybody for all your great comments on the last podcast. I know it got a little wild and crazy at the end there, talking about pouring tomato soup through the microphone so that we could send food to you in the future through the internet. I know this is something that I've been contemplating. I sort of consider this the tip of the spear of broadcasting, podcasting, right here. When we start contemplating pouring tomato soup through the internet, it starts with the spark of an idea, and I think we're the only ones talking about that right now. So just wait. In 150 years, they might be calling me crazy now. But in 150 years, you'll see. I won't be here. You probably won't be here either. Not to bring the mood down, but people watching this video will see and they'll say, "Look at that guy. He called it." Look at that guy. They won't have to look at a phone. It'll just be going right into their brains, right? We won't even have eyeballs anymore. We'll just be sort of, humans will just be floating in sort of a bag of fluid with a tube, watching, and we'll be sort of working sort of through some sort of AI. Our brains will be like, but every once in a while for entertainment, they'll go on YouTube and they'll watch this show. Look at that guy, he called it. We are sucking tomato. We are sucking tomato soup. We are sucking tomato soup to the internet. Look at Tom Green, really called it. We are sucking tomato soup. We are sucking tomato soup. Anyways, I don't want to get too weird on the show. I do want to keep sort of some kind of rhyme and reason to this. I mean, I know there's a lot of people watching who are normal, and I don't want to turn off normal people, right? It's that's the thing. That's, I think, probably one of the things that's held me back a little bit in my career in show business. Sometimes I've been a little too weird, and I think maybe I've turned off some of the normies out there, the normie normals. So I'm going to try to be a little more sensible, okay? And leave a message in the comments if you want to see me be a little bit more sensible. We had talked last week about whether or not you want to see The Wizard. I'm thinking maybe The Wizard might not be ready for prime time. Maybe you guys are not ready for The Wizard. But there is a wizard on the property, and I'm not sure if it's time to reveal the wizard or not. I mean, I'll tell you, I saw him last evening around this time, and let's just put it this way. He's always hovering around, literally, by the way, hovering around. And I don't know. I don't know if I want to, sort of polarize the audience. There's people that are into normal conversation about hunting and fishing and outdoorsmanship and stand-up comedy and funny movies and things like that. And then there's people that like wizards and like to, watch me pantomime sucking tomato soup through a tube in the future while I'm floating in a bag of sort of a saline solution. That's like a very specific kind of audience, right? It's a smaller audience, I'd say. It's not the kind of audience that really the advertisers are sort of seeking. So anyways, that's pretty much what's going on. Love you guys for tuning in, and we're going to get some guests. We're going to get some more things happening here. Right now, it's just a technical test again. just getting everything set up and ready to go. But yeah, I've been out enjoying the nature. Up here in Canada, we have a strong tradition of hunting and fishing. I've got my hunting license. I've got my small game license, and I'm out there enjoying the outdoors. And everybody out there, you should enjoy the outdoors too, and be safe. If you're hunting or if you're fishing or if you're riding ATVs, be safe, be responsible, and getting outside is probably the best thing you can do for your mental health. Okay, as you can see, I've been outside and I'm doing great. So I find that when you're in nature, it's the best way to. I find when you're in nature, it's the best way to really kind of look after your mental health. Because when you're in nature, you're not thinking about the past and you're not thinking about the future. You're thinking about the now. So get outside, enjoy it. It's the best thing. If take it from me, it's the best thing for your peace and mental health and positive attitude. Just enjoy looking at a tree and just think, wow, look at that tree. Isn't that a nice tree? That's pretty much the gist of it. You don't really have to walk, 100 miles into the wilderness to look at a tree. You could probably look at a tree on in a little planter on the top of a above ground parking lot outside of a shopping mall in Cleveland, right? And that's still going to be probably getting you out of the future and the past and into the now. But really, when you go out deep into the woods, it is a little different because you are concerned about getting killed and eaten by a bear or a pack of wolves. And that kind of sort of adrenaline, that sort of fight or flight sort of natural response to the possibility of imminent death from a apex predator, that's the kind of thing that really gets you into the now. You're not sitting around going like, oh man, I wish I hadn't said that thing to that person 15 years ago. I probably would have gotten that promotion, right? You're not thinking about that, right? Instead, you're thinking about like, what the fuck was that sound, right? So that's why I'd say it's good to get out into nature. Go out, scare yourself. Go out, be terrified in the woods. I like to go out in the middle of the night sometimes, in the middle of the woods. I have a flashlight I like to bring with me. It's an Immolent MS-18. It's the most powerful flashlight in the world. We'll show you that another day. We can't show you everything all at once. But that's what's going on, guys. Thanks for watching. Love you guys. We're going to have more podcasting soon. We're going to have more podcasting soon as I can figure out how to string a sentence together. And without stumbling and bumbling over myself. No, things are going good with me, actually. I'm doing real good. I'm happy that you're here, and I'm a professional person, right? I shouldn't be acting like that. I'm a professional person. I can do a radio show and a podcast. I set up these microphones, right? I got these lights set up here. I'm putting this all together, right? I've got a barn, right? It's not like I'm an idiot or something, right? It's not like I'm a friggin' idiot or something. I can do stuff, so, it's not that you asked or whatever, but I'm just saying I'm an intelligent person. I can put things together and do things, right? So, don't go in the comments and say, look at this guy going blah, 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 and doing all that stuff. Look at this guy. Like, I'm doing it on purpose. I'm just trying to goof around and have fun with you guys, right? It's not like I'm like, doing it because I can't control myself or something, So we'll see you soon. We'll see you next week. Thanks, guys, for watching. Thanks. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you soon. Bye. Bye-bye. Well, I got to go. I got stuff to do. I really do. I've got phone calls to make, emails to send. I'm a professional person. I do have things to do. I actually am a professional. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks so much. Talk soon.